You just got promoted. Nice raise, better title, everything's looking up. Then reality hits. You're 34, and you have no idea if you're actually winning financially or just treading water with a fancier job title. Here's what nobody tells you about your 30s. This is the decade where small money mistakes turn into permanent damage, and smart decisions compound into life-changing wealth. The gap between those two outcomes? It's wider than you think. Most people sleepwalk through their 30s thinking they have time to figure it out later. Spoiler alert, later arrives faster than your next mortgage payment, and by then, the math isn't in your favor anymore. The decisions you make between 30 and 40 will determine whether you're sipping coffee on a beach at 60 or greeting customers at Walmart because your 401k is a punchline. Dramatic? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Hey, I'm Jack, and on this channel, we talk about building real wealth without the BS or complicated jargon that makes your eyes glaze over. If you're tired of feeling like you're doing everything right but still not getting ahead, smash that like button and subscribe. Today, we're breaking down the exact financial checkpoints you need to hit in your 30s, why they matter, and how to actually achieve them without living like a monk. Let's start with the most painful one first. By your mid-30s, consumer debt should be extinct in your life. Gone. Deleted. Not managed or under control, but actually eliminated. Credit cards, car loans, personal loans, that Best Buy card you opened for the TV in 2019, all of it needs to be at zero. Your mortgage gets a pass, but everything else, time to pull the plug. Here's why this matters more than you realize. Let's say you're carrying $15,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest and making minimum payments. You're hemorrhaging about $275 a month just on interest. That's $3,300 a year going straight into the bank's pocket. Over 10 years, that's $33,000 in interest alone, not counting the principal. Now imagine redirecting that money into an index fund earning 10% annually instead. That same $33,000 becomes over $57,000. You just lost $57,000 because you couldn't break up with Visa. Real talk, your earning power peaks in your 40s and 50s. If you enter that decade still paying off purchases from your 20s, you've already lost the game. The compound interest you should be earning is instead working against you, and catching up gets exponentially harder every single year. Next up, your credit score needs to be bulletproof. We're talking 780 or higher, ideally pushing 800. And before you say credit scores are a scam for people who love debt, let me hit you with some math that'll change your mind. You're buying a $450,000 house. That's not a mansion, that's a 3-bedroom in a decent school district in most American cities right now. With a 780 credit score, you lock in a 6.5% rate on your 30-year mortgage. With a 680 credit score, same house, same down payment, you're looking at 7.2%. That 0.7% difference cost you an extra $68,000 over the life of the loan. Same house, same neighborhood, same everything. Except you're paying for a new BMW just because you forgot to pay your Discover card on time 3 years ago. The difference between good credit and excellent credit isn't about being responsible. It's about being obsessive. Set up auto pay on everything. Check your credit report quarterly. Keep your utilization under 10%, not 30%. Your credit score is literally worth tens of thousands of dollars in your 30s. Treat it that way. Here's where most people completely drop the ball. They have no actual plan. They're just winging it, hoping that contributing 6% to their 401k and occasionally checking their bank balance counts as financial planning. It doesn't.
Your 30s require a legitimate financial roadmap for the next 3 decades. Not a vague idea, not good intentions, but an actual written plan with numbers and timelines. You need to know exactly how much you're saving, where it's going, and what it needs to grow into. This means sitting down and doing the math on retirement, not guessing, not using some garbage online calculator that assumes you'll retire on $40,000 a year, actually calculating what you need based on the life you want to live. It means estate planning, even though you're not old enough to care about that yet. If you have kids or own property, you need a will. You need beneficiaries updated. You need powers of attorney documented. This isn't morbid, it's responsible. And it means tax strategy. If you're not thinking about Roth conversions, HSA contributions, or tax loss harvesting, you're leaving thousands on the table every year. The IRS isn't going to send you a thank you note for overpaying. Get a CPA or learn this stuff yourself. Your emergency fund needs an upgrade too. That 3 months of expenses you built in your 20s? Cute. Insufficient. You need 6 to 12 months now, minimum. Why the jump? Because everything costs more and breaks more often in your 30s. Your HVAC system dies in July. Your transmission fails. Your kid needs braces. Your company announces layoffs. Your roof starts leaking during the first heavy rain. The goal isn't just survival during emergencies. It's maintaining leverage. When you have a year of expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, you can negotiate that job offer harder. You can walk away from a toxic workplace. You can invest when everyone else is panicking and selling. Money sitting in your emergency fund isn't earning life-changing returns, and that's fine. It's buying you options, and options are worth more than 5% annual interest when life gets chaotic. Let's talk retirement numbers, because this is where most people completely delude themselves. By 40, you should have 3 times your annual salary saved for retirement. That's the baseline, not the goal. If you're making $75,000 at 40, you need $225,000 in retirement accounts. Sounds aggressive? It's actually conservative. That amount, growing at 8% annually with consistent contributions, gets you to about $2.3 million by 67, which sounds like a lot until you realize that's maybe $80,000 a year in retirement income. The math is unforgiving here. Every year you delay serious retirement saving costs you exponentially more in future wealth. A dollar invested at 30 is worth about $21 at 67. That same dollar invested at 40, it's worth about $10. You just cut your retirement wealth in half by waiting a decade. If you're behind on this goal right now, don't spiral, but do get aggressive about catching up. Max out that 401k. Open a Roth IRA. Increase contributions every time you get a raise, not just when you feel like it. Now here's the milestone that separates people who actually build wealth from people who just look wealthy. You need to develop immunity to lifestyle inflation. This is the silent wealth killer that nobody wants to acknowledge. You get a $10,000 raise, and suddenly you're shopping at Whole Foods instead of Trader Joe's. You lease a nicer car because you can afford the payment. You upgrade your apartment because the old one feels beneath your new salary. Your expenses magically expand to consume every dollar of your income increase. I know people making $200,000 who are somehow always broke. They drive $60,000 cars, live in luxury apartments, eat every meal out, and then wonder why they can't save money. It's not a mystery. It's math. They're spending every dollar they make just at a higher price point than someone making $50,000.
The antidote is automation. Every raise you get, immediately redirect half of it to retirement or investments before you have a chance to spend it. Got an $8,000 raise? Great. Increase your 401k contribution by $4,000 annually. You'll never miss money you never saw hit your checking account. Here's the uncomfortable truth about your 30s. You're mortal, and you need to plan accordingly. Estate planning isn't just for rich people or old people. It's for anyone who owns anything or loves anyone. If you have kids and don't have a will naming guardians, a judge decides who raises them if something happens to you. If you have a house and no beneficiaries properly documented, your spouse might have to fight your distant relatives in probate court to keep the home. Basic estate planning is shockingly affordable. You can get a simple will, power of attorney, and healthcare directive for a few $100s through legal services or even online platforms. Complex situations need a real attorney, but most people just need the basics done properly. This isn't about being paranoid, it's about being prepared. Your 30s are when you start accumulating real assets and real responsibilities. Document your wishes now while your brain is working and you're healthy. Let's pivot to something most finance channels ignore:
Your health is your best investment in your 30s. And I'm not talking about kale smoothies and yoga. I'm talking about cold, hard economics. Preventable health conditions cost Americans over $730 billion annually. Heart disease, diabetes, obesity-related illnesses, most of it avoidable with basic lifestyle choices made decades earlier. Your 30s are when those choices either set you up or break you down. The metabolism you coasted on through your 20s is shutting down. You can't eat garbage and skip exercise anymore without consequences. Your body is keeping score now, and the bill comes due in your 40s and 50s in the form of medical expenses and lost productivity. Investing in your health now isn't about vanity. It's about avoiding six-figure medical bills later. It's about staying productive in your peak earning years instead of burning sick days. It's about having the energy to actually enjoy the wealth you're building. If you have kids or plan to, college savings needs to get on your radar immediately. A 4-year degree at a public university now costs about $120,000 total. At a private school, try $200,000 or more, and those numbers are climbing about 6% annually. You don't need to fund the entire amount, but starting early makes a massive difference. A 529 plan lets you invest money that grows tax-free and comes out tax-free for education expenses. Many states give you a tax deduction for contributions, too. Even $200 a month starting when your kid is born turns into over $80,000 by age 18 at 8% returns. Wait until they're 10 to start? That same $200 monthly gets you only about $28,000. The difference between starting early and starting late is literally tens of thousands of dollars. And if your kid doesn't need it all for college, you can transfer it to another child, use it yourself for continuing education, or even roll up to $35,000 into a Roth IRA under new rules. It's one of the most flexible education savings tools available. The final milestone isn't a number in your account, it's confidence in your financial system. It's knowing your numbers, trusting your plan, and sleeping well at night even when the market drops 15% in a week. Financial confidence comes from having your systems dialed in. Your budget is automatic, your investments are on autopilot, your insurance coverage is adequate, your estate documents are filed. You're not guessing about whether you're on track, you know. This might mean working with a financial planner, especially if your situation is complex. Or it might mean educating yourself enough to manage it all confidently. Either way, the goal is eliminating the 3 a.m. anxiety about whether you're doing this right. Your 30s are your financial prime. You're earning more than ever. You have decades for compound interest to work, but you also have more complexity than ever. The decisions you make now determine whether your 60s are spent relaxing or scrambling. These milestones aren't meant to stress you out or make you feel behind. They're a roadmap. If you're crushing some and behind on others, that's completely normal. Pick the one or two that matter most for your situation right now and focus there. The beautiful part about being in your 30s is you still have time to fix mistakes. You can't change the past, but you can absolutely change the trajectory. Small, consistent improvements compound, just like investments. Drop a comment and let me know which of these milestones you're working on right now or which one you're dreading the most. And if you want to see how to actually retire early without winning the lottery, check out the video I'm linking up next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.